Hello, everyone. I made it back. I'm here. I didn't give up. I didn't give up. Um, I just want to say that I don't know what it was over the last couple of months, September and October, if it was just me, but I felt like there was just this crazy black storm that I just came out of. I was legit just about to go to bed. That's why I have my little makeup thing on, and I was about to wash my face um, and go to bed. And I was like, you didn't do another video. Another week has passed, and you didn't do another video. I was pretty upset with myself. I have been over the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like there was just like this black storm in the month of October, especially for me. And I just felt like I kind of just gradually got out of it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just this time of year. Usually I feel pretty good at this time of year. So this was new for me, this kind of funk that I was in, and it really hit me hard. I don't know why, but it really hit me hard. There was a lot of self-reflecting that I was doing, and one of them mainly being, my videos and committing to this channel like I said I was. And I think it's been a month, if not over a little over a month that I've been gone. Um, but I made it. I did it. I didn't give up. And it kept coming to the front of my mind as soon as I woke up in the morning, as soon as I'm doing like my day-to-day things, when I'm going to work. Um, it just kept coming to my mind, and I'm like, and it's just like this. I notice that when I get these feelings, again, it's like this bad habit that I get in where I'm like, oh, it's not perfect, so I'm just not going to do it. And there was like a couple times that I went to go do the video, and I just felt like this block. Um, and I don't know, maybe it just wasn't the time for me to talk at that time. So it was best for me to stay silent, maybe. Maybe it just wasn't the time for me to talk. So we'll just look at it like that, in that kind of light. I'm trying not to be too hard on myself because, again, this is still very, very new for me. And this is still a very big fear of mine, talking in front of a camera. So I'm doing my best. But thank you for still being here. And thank you for the new people who are here. A few things that I had reflected on this time that I've been not uploading were things that I feel are very important as you're getting older. I am going to be 32 in a couple of months. Oh, I know it seems scary, but a lot of new things just keep coming up. And I feel like when you get into your 30s, so many things just are just like right in your face. And I feel like a lot of things now in my 30s is just like right in my face. Like, this is what I want, so this is what I should do. This is what I don't like, so I don't want to do it. Um, Maybe that's just me. I've felt like that since I've turned 30, that a lot of things I'm just like, no, yes. I still am struggling with the fully just accepting that no is an answer, and I don't have to over explain myself on why I say no. But I'm working on it. I'm getting there. So the first thing that I reflected on is what's really important as you get older is your character and who you are. Um, if you say you're going to do something, you should do it, and you should commit to it, because your word is bond, and that's how people see you. If you don't do something you say you're going to do, it's a reflection of who you are. And I know as I've gotten older, It means more than anything, especially when you're building new relationships, and networking with people, connecting with new people as far as like your career, people you want to be around, family wise, friends. It's just very important. And that was like one of the things that was really in front of my mind when I wasn't uploading my videos. I was like, you're not sticking to your word. That is a reflection of your character, Chrissy. So, how I see myself also is very important. If I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, I feel some type of way about myself. I'm like, you don't trust, then I don't trust myself, you know? And I'm like, why am I letting myself pull back from this? Am I afraid of what? What am I genuinely afraid of? So this is something that I'm also really, really working on. Um, I feel like I have a very good character, and as I get older, I feel like it's a really big priority of mine to keep working on it. Um, so number two is disappointment is always going to come up. Always, always, always. But you should never let it prohibit you from keep achieving. So that goes hand in hand with, me being gone for a monthish. Disappointment happens even within yourself, with other people, but you can't let it stop you from achieving what you want to achieve, especially when you have a family. Not saying that if you don't have a family, it doesn't matter, but you want to have, for myself personally, I want to have a foundation of who I am to pass down to my children and for them to pass down to their children. Um, Disappointment is always going to happen. It's inevitable. It's life. You're going to deal with disappointment with friends, family, work, just life. You just have to keep going. And that's why I'm here right now. Go me. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It's exciting. It feels like this is like my first video again, but it feels a little different now. Like I don't feel as nervous, in a good way, in a good way. So, moving on, number three, having people that you can depend on, having people that you can rely on. I feel so important, especially as you get older and you go through life and you go through disappointments with yourself, with other people. You should have that fallback of people that are there to support you and to help you. Um, this last monthish or so, I, yes, I had things come up in my life, but there was only one person that had reached out to me and said, hey, when's the next YouTube video? And I was like, wow. So, and not saying that people should, that's their job to, push you. Um, but it's good to have those people that you can rely on and depend on and are cheering you on no matter what you're going through. Um, so, matters who your friends are because it, I'm not saying that people shouldn't always feel like people should show up for you constantly, but you should have a very reliable community that you can go to for support when things are tough. And whenever things, I find for myself, things that come up that are very tough, there are certain people that I go to talk to because I'm like, I not that I need advice. I just need someone to listen to me and just say, hey, Chrissy, that's difficult, I'm here for you. I'm going to support whatever you decide. And then if I do ask for that advice, um, moving forward, of course, I'm with my friends, I'm usually always open. I wouldn't say usually. I am pretty open to listening to criticism depending on the circumstance. This I also have been working on with myself, that if someone comes to you with a problem, it doesn't necessarily always mean that they want you to give them a solution. Sometimes people just need an ear to let out what they're feeling and they're thinking, and then sometimes it can bounce back off to them. Sometimes that happens to me. Like if I just let out what I'm feeling and I'm hearing myself talk, it's almost like the answer comes to me sometimes, depending on what the situation is, obviously. Um, so, yeah, I just think that having those friends, that support system when you're going through shit is key. And it's people take that for granted. And again, I'm going to keep saying this in my videos and it's going to keep coming up. Community is important. I don't care what anyone says. You can't convince me otherwise. It's important. It's very important to have a community, have people that you can depend on. Because, newsflash, you can't take on the world by yourself. And I've done it multiple times in my life where I just go through shit alone and it fucking sucks. It sucks. I don't I don't know who programmed us to think that just going through life alone is the better option, because it's not. It sucks. It very much sucks, especially when you're a mother or a parent. It sucks. So, we're going to keep working and building community. Okay, number 4, your health. So important to keep up with your health. The last month-ish or so, I was still keeping up with going to the gym. The gym is very important to me. It's definitely a very good outlet for me to separate myself from my kids sometimes, separate myself from work and everything. It just helps me almost like rewire my brain again, which I didn't really come into the fitness world up until I was in my 20s. I started really going hard probably in my mid 20s. Yeah, mid 20s. It's still been like up and down because if you know that the food industry is just like crazy. It's just so confusing. Let's just say that. It's so confusing. Like, why is this so difficult to just eat food? It should not be this difficult, which is actually kind of, no, it is. It's very mind blowing. Eating food should not be this difficult. I never thought that I would be saying this as an adult because, as a kid, you're kind of just like, you eat whatever you're given. But it's like, what is happening? I am utterly confused on how hard it is to just consume food. So, health, so important. I've been doing my very best to maintain a very good mental health, physical health, spiritual health. Within the last month, I've realigned a lot of things that, not necessarily that are not important to me, but I've kind of moved them down on my list a little bit. And yeah, we're just going to see where that goes. Speaking of health and working on my mental health, I actually booked an appointment this month to start therapy. And this is something that I've been kind of in and out of growing up and in my 20s as well. And I've always been hesitant over the last 4 years or so to go back into it. One, because it's hard to find a therapist that will understand you, that will be able to really resonate. And I don't want to say, most therapists that I've encountered are dense. And it almost feels like they just went to school to get a degree. They actually never had any real true life experience. And I'm like, okay, so what is happening here? And to me, therapy is something that I want to go to not essentially seek for someone to give me answers, because I think therapy, in my opinion, is how you find the answers for yourself. And that's essentially what I'm going towards. I feel like I have the answers, and not necessarily that maybe I'm doing this thing again where I'm looking for validation. That's something that will probably come up in therapy too, depending on the therapist and how much we actually connect, because that's going to be important. My first appointment's going to be via Zoom, which not really pleased about, but the office that I looked into has a wait list, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit of time. Either way, I'm going to be shopping around for therapists over the next few months. That's a priority for me. So, yes, number 4 was health. Health is just so important. Sometimes you're going to fall off. You just have to keep going. And I have a lot of times where I am down, up, down, up, down, up, and then I'm on like this crazy streak where I'm just doing so well. And then when I fall off, I'm like, oh, I'm a failure, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not a failure. Number 5, I'm not a failure. Number 5 is that I have seasons to my life. So, number 5, what I've come to a conclusion in the last month or so is that life has seasons. And you're going to constantly be going through different seasons in your life. And you just have to rock it. You just have to rock it. You got to go with it and embrace the season that you're in. And sometimes the season's not going to always be pretty. It's going to be rough, and it's going to be dark, and it's going to be stormy and cloudy and rainy and snowy and cold and lonely. Those seasons are hard. And then you're going to have seasons that are bright, sunny, spontaneous, adventurous, all the things, filled with love and joy. We just have to embrace our seasons no matter where we are. I've definitely come to find that my seasons are always beneficial, and they've always pushed me to a new level, whether they're good or bad. They've always pushed me to a new level, a different level of myself. Just like now, I'm coming back here and I feel like I'm on a different level of from when I first started my YouTube. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here tonight. I'm glad I didn't go to sleep. Glad I didn't go to sleep disappointing myself. I've been not disappointing myself in other areas of my life, but this came up as a disappointment, and I wasn't going to keep letting it sitting in the front of my mind and not doing anything about it, because my character to me is important and I'm working on it, and I'm going to keep working on it, and it's evolving every single day. So that's it for today's video. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. The seasons are going to keep changing. We're just not going to give up. I'll see you guys on the next video. Ciao.